Dogecoin whales are finally changing their moves by accumulating billions of Dogecoin. Let's talk about it. Hello guys and welcome back to Crypto Fire, where we talk about Dogecoin, cryptocurrency, and investing. Before we go any further, please keep in mind that we're giving away $100 to a random subscriber. All you have to do is like the video, subscribe, and leave a comment on your favorite cryptocurrency. Read our description for more info about it. Now let's get started with today's video. Take a look at this. This whale bought $732 million worth of Doge after the dip. This amounts to around 3.5 billion Dogecoins. And this is his only transaction, which he did on 22nd June, which means after the dip. Also with this, he became the fourth largest Doge holder and he now owns over 2.7% of all Doge in circulation. And this isn't the only wallet. There are others who are accumulating massive amounts too. Look at this. This one bought over 100 million Dogecoins after the dip. And then there's this one who bought 27 million Doge after the dip. Now, what's interesting about this one is that he or she hasn't sold any of their holdings. And this is what I've been talking about. These whales are busy accumulating after the retail investors with paper hands are leaving the market. Now, this is fascinating because a lot of whales were selling billions of Doge only a week ago. So, I think with this, the whole dynamic has shifted to a more bullish one. Also, we have to understand that the huge sell-off followed by these buy-ins indicates market manipulation to scare off the retail investors. On top of that, we have news coming out about how this huge institution or senator or billionaire celebrity bought the dip. Before I talk about that, I'd like to remind you that I'm not a financial advisor and this isn't financial advice. So please do your own research before investing anything into cryptocurrencies. Ideally, you should only invest what you're willing to lose because cryptocurrencies are inherently volatile. With that being said, let's talk about all those people who bought the dip. Let's start with the one that I'm the most surprised about. It says here that the U.S. Senator Cynthia Lummis is excited about Bitcoin's price falling, plans to buy the dip. Basically, she said that, as soon as it drops a little more, I'm going to buy some more. And then she talked about an old investment that she held onto despite the dip. She said that, my favorite stock that I own is a company called United Rentals. I bought it and it dropped like a rock. I held on to it and it has performed beautifully over the years for me. And I see Bitcoin doing the same kind of thing because the fundamentals are good. Personally, this makes me really excited about where cryptocurrencies are headed. While she's not a huge analyst, we have to consider the power of her words. She's after all a United States senator. Just think about how this will affect the market sentiment. Then there's Suze Orman, who's a well-known personal finance expert. She said that she bought $5,000 of Bitcoin using PayPal, and she's a hodler. While she said that she's a bit worried about the prospects of Bitcoin regulation, she said that she's still a fan. Now what's interesting about this one is that Suze Orman's followers include people who are older than 40 years old, and the most amount of skepticism around Bitcoin comes from them. I'm sure that a majority of them are well aware, but if you compare it to the younger generation, their excitement isn't as high about crypto. So this is a really bullish sign for Doge. Now, the next one is the billionaire Ricardo Salinas, who said that he's going to put his billion into Bitcoin. So this is interesting because he's the third richest man in Mexico. He's always been a huge advocate of Bitcoin, saying that Bitcoin is easy to carry, it enjoys extreme liquidity internationally, and most of all, Bitcoin supply is limited. Now, he's a bit wary of the altcoins because of their inflationary model. He said that governments can create new coins when they want. An endless supply means that the value depreciates over time instead of appreciating. This stood out to me because Dogecoin is unlike other popular altcoins because of its deflationary model. Now, another news came out that said that a well-known short seller claims that Bitcoin will not reach a bottom until Dogecoin falls below 1 cent. Again, I want to go through things like this because if you read them, you'll probably be really afraid of investing anything. I think the purpose of statements like these could be that they want you to sell your holdings. I talked about how Goldman Sachs first said that Bitcoin is not an asset class but is now going deep into crypto. So things like this only create fear to push out the retail investors. You're going to see a lot of these short sellers creating panic so they can purchase precisely what they want at a discounted price. Let's talk a little more about them. Look at this one. It's talking about how Dogecoin is demonstrating strong declines, weaker recovery tips, bearish action ahead. And then there's this one, Dogecoin the big loser in the latest cryptocurrency rout. This one says that the problem with Dogecoin is that, like all cryptocurrencies, it has no fundamental use or value to the point that even the project's own co-founder, Marcus, said that the cryptocurrency is a good barometer for how distorted the digital currency is from reality. I just think that it isn't fair that these websites aren't publishing about the 20% surge that we saw today. They aren't mentioning that the co-creator bought the dip himself. They aren't mentioning all the good things that are going to come for Doge this year. Let's talk about these positive things for a minute now. So this tweet pretty much gives a good idea. It talks about how Robinhood is going to provide new wallets. And it also mentions the massive decrease in transaction costs that I talked about in a previous video. Then there's the Ethereum and Dogecoin bridge. And then the Doge 1 mission, which will take Doge to the literal moon. And then there are those 1,400 retailers accepting Doge already, who will most probably be joined by Tesla this year. Now, let's come back to the big institutions for a minute. Look at this. Morgan Stanley co-leads $48 million Series B for blockchain firm Securitize. Basically, Securitize provides asset tokenization services to its clients, and Morgan Stanley is investing a huge amount into them. So this is yet another bullish sign. And then there's the CIO of Guggenheim. If you don't know, Guggenheim Partners manage over $270 billion in assets. He said that, while crypto is a volatile asset, it is the paradigm of the future. And there are other signs that say that Bitcoin is going up from here. This article came out today that talked about how Bitcoin is expected to be range-bound following a rebound from 29,000. It says that Bitcoin looks to have bottomed out, having digested most negative news during the recent sell-off from $41,000 to $29,000. And it is absolutely true. It did digest the worst news that could come for it and is now finally in the green again. And yet another one talked about how Dogecoin is beginning an uptrend again, and that if things continue as they are, it could reach as high as 37 cents. Basically, Doge has to break through the support level it dropped through, which is currently at 24 cents. It now must break through the pivot point at 29 cents to confirm the trend reversal. If purchasing pressure continues to grow, we might see it increase to 32 cents and then perhaps 37 cents. And it does look likely because people still haven't lost any interest in Dogecoin. Take a look at this. Dogecoin is still the third most popular cryptocurrency, according to Google Trends. I talked about how it's really attractive to the younger generation, and this is proof of that. Also, what's interesting is that it is really close to Ethereum, which is supposed to be way more popular than Doge. Especially if you consider that Doge came into the limelight only 5 months ago. So overall, I'm quite excited about where it's headed. What do you think is going to happen? Tell me about it in the comments section below. And with that, we've come to the end of this video. Thanks for watching till the end. If you enjoyed it, please consider liking and sharing it with your friends. Also, please subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications for daily videos on Dogecoin and cryptocurrency. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comments section below. Goodbye, take care.